All right, so we did the last video. We did this merge by. We created work example 3, and it's only ticker symbols that are in both files. Sometimes that's not what you want though. So we're going to create another thing, but if it's in Z1, meaning it's in the first file, but it's also not. And for that, we're going to use the little. Means not, meaning not in C2. So it's got to be in stock 1 but not in stock 2. So that's gonna, if it's in both of them, that means we're gonna kick this guy out on one side. So you know what, let me do Control C to copy and Control V to paste. We'll just call this 4 and I'll take that out. Put a little comment here, in both files, and then in first, not second. Alright, so we're just going to run this real quick. So now we have our work example 4. So these are the ones that are in the first file but not in the second file. So these are the unique only to the first file, and we can flip that around real quickly. So then we want a not here. So they're not in the first file, but they're in the second file. We'll do Control C. So make that 5. And then we can just go ahead and run it. Remember, this is work file 4. File ran, no problem. Right click, edit, clear all. Go ahead and save the file off. My work out, or work example 5. So this is comparison. The ones that are work 4, so it's in the first file but not in the second. And this is work 5, it's not in the first file but it is in the second. Alright, so these are just other ways to filter your data and manipulate your data so that you end up with the output file that you're ready to do any kind of analytics on. Okay, next thing. Exit. Exit. We're going to pause here for a little bit, and what we're going to do is go to our Wharton research. So I've already logged in. You guys need to get your logins and log in yourself. We're going to go to Crisp. Now my security files. Let's do daily stock file, and I'm going to go from, I'll just write it in. Let's do 2011-01 to 2013. So we're going to get 2 years of data. This is January of 2011, so you get 2011, 2012. I guess we get 3 years of data. 2013. We're going to do it by ticker symbols. We don't want to enter ticker symbols one by one, so we're going to go ahead and select the file. I'm going to pick on a file here, and my file is going to be, in my case, it's going to be over here on my jump drive under PhD projects, data manipulation control files, and I'm just going to do stock list 1. So it's going to read in each one of those tickers. And you know what? Actually, I want to change that. Let's do stock list 2. So stock list 2's got a stock in it called BRK, which is Berkshire Hathaway. But in point of fact, try Yahoo Finance. Berkshire Hathaway has two different stocks associated with it. There's Berk A and Berk B. So this is Berk B, Berkshire Hathaway B. Berkshire Hathaway A is, if Berk B is 200,000, Berk A is going to be, or if Berk B is 200, Berk A is going to be 260,000, I think. Let's see, let's try Berk A. $300,000. All right. Look at that. It was up $7,000 today. Not bad. And if you bought one share of this stock, it would cost you $311,000. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make here is that since you've just entered the ticker symbol BRK, the databases don't know whether you want Berk A or Berk B, and a lot of times they're just going to give you both. But I want to give you an example of how this works. So we've gone ahead and we've asked for this underlying data. This is the kind of information that you have available to you. If you have a question about anything, just hit the question mark and it's going to come up. And what we're going to look for, let's pull the ticker symbol, SIC code, and then I want some returns. And you can come up here and click over on the returns. I never. Well, I guess it just depends on what. I used to know how to do this better. Should right scroll, but it's not. Anyway, it's like you hold down a shift key and hit it, or whatever. Maybe it'll work on yours. So we'll just come back to search R. We have the ticker symbol, the SIC code. Let's do a price, and I want a return, and holding period return with dividends. So I'll click on that one, and then we can come down. Some identifying information. So let's look for some share information. Number of shares outstanding is a typical one. That'll be good. All right, so that's the data that we're going to ask for. We're not going to do any kind of conditional statements, and we're going to ask for it in this case as a comma delimited file, which means there are going to be little commas. You want to be really careful about downloading this stuff as SAS data sets for a couple of different reasons. One of them is that when you download it as a SAS data set, Words is making the decisions on what file formats and data formats are supposed to be. And if you're working with data from other places or even within Words, you may not be able to merge things together because the data formats are going to be different, and that creates problems. All right, anyway, we're going to do this as a comma delimited file and go ahead and submit the query. Depending on how fast things are launching, this might take a couple of minutes, or it could take a little bit longer than that. Whenever it shows up, we'll just click on the download button. All right, so it's coming in as a CSV file, so I'll go ahead and click here. I want to go ahead and save the file, and we're going to put it under our jump drive. A lot of times you want to work off your jump drive, and that's because, or an external hard drive, when the slowest part of processing anything is going to be read and write from the hard drive. And we're going to change this name. We don't need some very archaic hidden structure to it. Alright, so now I've created new data files. I'm wrong, sorry. Those are my copy of data files. This is my Samsung. Now I've created a new path. This is my data. So your next step is to come back and create a new macro variable. And on this one, I'm not going to put the slash in there just to show you. You can do it either way. In terms of reading the material in. Here's another nice thing, another reason you want to get Notepad. I'm going to go ahead and open this file. And this is what the underlying file looks like. So it has the perm number, the date, the SIC code, the ticker symbol, the price, the return, and the number of shares that are outstanding. And just as a quick point on understanding what you're asking for, I'm going to come back here to I'm going to uncheck that. Number of shares outstanding. If I hit my question mark here, it is number of publicly shares recorded in thousands. So the units are different. Just so you understand, right? If you want to know the market cap, it's not price times shares outstanding, it's price times shares outstanding times 1,000, because shares recorded in thousands. And it's an integer value, so they'll, those extra rounding of the thousands, they just get rid of. Alright, so this is the file we want to read in. So we're going to do that real quick, and then we're going to do a sort. You notice in the data request, it's always going to come in order of perm number. So as I drag down here, it doesn't matter what the ticker symbol is, it matters the order of the perm number. So keep that in mind. Alright, so I'm going to do a data. And then we're going to do a length statement. And I want my symbol as an 8 and my date is also an 8. So those are the two main variables that we're interested in. Probably should have asked for share code too. We'll worry about that in a little bit. Alright, and then I want an in file. And then it's the at. I think I called it data path. And then I need my dot. Now I can put the slash in, and then whatever the file name I decided on. You do a slow double click, it'll highlight, so you don't have to figure out that you typed it in wrong and figure out what's going on. Control V, double quote. Alright, because this is comma delimited, we put a DSD, and that says it's comma delimited file. First obs equal 2 means we're going to skip this first line. So I could put first obs equal 20, first obs equal whatever, doesn't matter. And then we're going to do an input, and because it's comma delimited, it doesn't, I don't have to any format. So this is the perm node comes first, and then YMD comes second, and then SIC code comes third. And then my symbol, and then the price, and then the return, and my share out. And again, make sure that you're using your semicolons. A lot of times what you're going to do is you're going to forget to put the semicolon in. It's going to throw an error, so that when you get an error, that's the first thing you always check. Alright, so I'm just going to go ahead and highlight this. Go ahead and click run. Come here, physical file does not exist. that makes sense because I typed this in, but I never submitted it. So now I'm going to submit it. And then we'll just come right back here. We'll go ahead and clear, edit, clear all, so we get a view on what we're doing. Save the file, highlight my crisp data, do a run. The problem is I'm getting a C, this C here for this return, because Facebook wasn't a stock in the data set for a while. All right, I'm doing 2011 through 2013, and Facebook FB wasn't actually a stock. The first day it comes into the CRISP data set, it comes in as a C, and this is your first day. Shares outstanding, etc. All right, so what I'm going to do at this point is just go ahead and stop the video. We're going to come back and we're going to deal with a little bit more about set and a little bit more about merges. And I'm also going to highlight the issue with Berkshire. All right, thanks a lot. Bye.